Welcome back to the States. It's now time for America's Talking, with headlines from across the country that you can find in the description below or in your inbox with the Center Square newsletter, free at thecentersquare.com. Well, Tuesday's primaries, a lot to talk about. Byron Donalds and David Jolly will face off to replace Ron DeSantis as the next governor of Florida in November. The Center Square's Andrew Rice reports voters in the Sunshine State elected Donalds from a crowded field of Republican nominees looking to take over for DeSantis, who's term limited. Now, Donalds quickly earned the endorsement of President Donald Trump, but not the current governor. DeSantis declined to endorse in a race that included his own lieutenant governor, Jay Collins. Now, Donalds has focused his campaign on supporting the Trump administration's immigration agenda and cutting taxes for Floridians. He said that he'd expand the state government's ability to audit businesses for potential fraud, an issue targeted by Republicans over the last several months. Jolly, the Democratic nominee, focused his campaign on his bipartisan record and touted his status as a former Republican in the U.S. Congress. Jolly left Congress in 2017. He's focused his campaign on increasing funds for public schools in Florida and offering state-backed home loan programs. In congressional battles in Florida, Jared Moskowitz overcame a challenge from Democratic Socialist candidates Oliver Larkin to face off against Republican Scott Singer in November. Now, the Florida legislature is one of 10 states across the country that redrew its congressional maps over the last year to favor a certain political party. Legislature in the Sunshine States, they moved a map in an effort to flip 4 Democratic-controlled districts to heavily favored Republican battlegrounds. Democratic incumbent U.S. Representative Kathy Castor will face off against Mike Beltran in Florida's newly drawn 14th congressional district in November. And then 2 other closely watched redrawn districts include District 9 and District 22. Now, Republicans in Florida, they also chose U.S. Senator Ashley Moody as their nominee for the state's special primary election for U.S. Senate Tuesday. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis appointed Moody back in January of 2025. After then-Senator Marco Rubio was nominated to President Donald Trump's cabinet as Secretary of State. In the Democratic primary, Democratic State Representative Angie Nixon pulled off an upset despite being significantly outraised by her opponent. The Center Square's Caroline Boda reports that Moody and Nixon will face off against each other November 3rd. In that nonpartisan Cook political report, it says that the race is, quote, solid Republican. Also on the ballot will be Nick Gillespie, who's running without party affiliation in Florida. Meanwhile, Senate Republicans defending a slim majority in the midterm this year. They see Florida's Senate race as crucial to maintaining control, but Alaska also plays a role in that struggle. Republican U.S. Senator Dan S. Sullivan and Mary Peltola, they advanced to November's general election for that U.S. Senate seat in Alaska's crucial race. The Center Square's Andrew Rice reports that Alaska voters selected the incumbent Republican senator as a prominent former congresswoman as the 2 top getters of those votes in that nonpartisan primary Tuesday. Now, Sullivan, he's touted his record supporting the Trump agenda, including his vote for the One Big Beautiful Bill and the Save America Act. That's that Trump policy that's unpopular with other Alaska Republicans, U.S. Senator Lisa Murkowski. Now, in recent days, Sullivan ramped up his attack on his Democratic opponent, who represented Alaska in the state's sole U.S. House seat until she lost re-election in 2024. Sullivan associated Peltola with Democrats in other states and accused her of attempting to play political games. Now, Peltola has focused her campaign on promoting local issues in Alaska, including access to lands for fishing and bringing more oil refineries to the state. She also called for expanding solar and wind energy tax credits and eliminating the federal income tax for Alaska households earning less than $92,000 per year. And a special election in California, Democratic State Senator Aisha Wahab is leading for California's 14th congressional district. Wahab is on the ballot along with former Dublin Mayor Melissa Hernandez, a Democrat who sits today on the board of Bay Area Rapid Transit. Center Square contributor Chris Woodward reports Tuesday's winner will replace U.S. Representative Eric Swalwell. Now, Swalwell resigned from the U.S. House in April amid sexual misconduct allegations. He also quit the race for governor of California. Wahab and Hernandez, they squared off in 2 June primaries, but neither of them received more than 50% of the vote that made Tuesday's special election necessary. The winner will serve during the rest of Swalwell's term, which ends January 3rd. And that's just some of what America is talking about. You can get these and other headlines at thecentersquare.com. From my studios in Central Illinois, I'm Greg Bishop. Join us back here Thursday for more stories impacting you, the taxpayer, from all across the country, only with the states, powered by the Center Square.